Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. There are forces at play that make it seem that they are trying to thwart me from getting the message that I'm told by source, by spirit, to get out to you all. I had a long video that I was working on yesterday, and in hindsight this might be actually a blessing in disguise, as the video itself was kind of long, rambling, and unfocused. However, my GoPro started overheating, which is something that I have not experienced before or since. So the reason that I am coming to you from this car is partly because I want to do a test with this GoPro, this setup that I currently have. I have done some research, done some troubleshooting methods, and using the Volta battery grip without a GoPro battery actually in the camera might be what I need to do. So I'm coming from you from the back seat of my vehicle, the back seat, because when I sit out in my car and I meditate at lunch, if I am in the front seat, there are people that will walk by. I am in the middle of the city, and those people have been known to approach me to try to get me to give them money, things along those lines. So I just don't like to be bothered. This is my Zen time, and also this is a time to share the message. And what I really want to focus in on today is the power of perception. So we are meant to come into this world, this life, this existence, this incarnation, and we will inevitably have challenges. That is one of the primary reasons that we have incarnated and chosen to incarnate in this time, is to overcome challenges, because that works off karma. That might also be the case for you. It might not be the case for you. It might not be the case for me as well. The one thing that is for certain is that we will face challenges when we come here, though, and our perception, the way we actually structure things and the way we view things in our mind, will help us or will be detrimental to our progress. Sometimes we literally just have to live the same loop over and over and over. It might be the same themes with different people. It might be the same themes with the same people, right? Have you ever had that ex that you've had for years and you're off again, on again, off again, on again, and you just can't seem to kick that person? Maybe you just need to learn what self-respect is and boundaries. You need to learn to love yourself the way you love other people. Maybe it is something where you attract a certain archetype, right? A certain personality type that will manifest over and over in your life until you finally figure out what it is that you need to do to get back on track. It takes time. It can take lifetimes to do this, but once you actually figure out, come to the realization you've had enough, you decide to take control. Because you are sovereign. You are a being that has free will. We are all infinite beings that have free will. And when we come here, we choose to exercise that free will. It is your free will to get back with your ex. It is your free will to say goodbye to your ex, but still attract the same type of person, the same type of being. And it's an addiction to you because you don't love yourself as much as you should. Or maybe it's you love yourself too much and you are consistently playing the role of the bad guy, right? We're all just here playing roles in life. Like and subscribe if that message resonates with you. If any of what I've said so far has resonated with you. My channel is about speaking truth, about speaking my everyday life, basically, and living my manifestation. Speaking of my everyday life, I would like to go ahead and, in the key of talking about perspective, I want to talk about last week and what really inspired this change within me. I have been channeling spirit. I have had a connection with the God source, the source of all things, for a few years. I can't tell you exactly when it started. Sometime after my awakening. I say my big awakening, when someone tried to carjack me at gunpoint. I had been spiritual up until that point, but it was not until after that point that really the message of me needing to come from a place of gratitude constantly really started to set in. And some point after that, I want to say November of 2022, I had spoken about this in the Phoenix Logs back when my name was Phoenix Rising, spelled F-E-N-I-X. My channel's been around a long time, but that is a story that has been covered exhaustively at this point. And so back then, I had Spirit tell me that in 3 months' time, I will be king. And I did not understand what that meant at that time in November. Again, you can go back and listen to those, and I kind of document that. But what that actually was, here to go ahead and spoil the story for you, is me achieving a certain level of energy control, basically. I mastered my energy, I mastered myself, and in that moment, then it gave me another message. And ultimately, it gave me a couple messages. And one of them that sticks out in my mind is that it said, by December, you will reach the mountaintop. And I wasn't sure exactly what it meant. Again, it just tells me things, and I have to live life and use my perception, my intuition, and go with the flow. That is what this is all about. So I followed it, I went with the flow, and what I started getting glimpses of, like, my etherical being. In August, I found myself in this wooded area in a small spring with a giant crystal in there, and these almost like these beings, these humanoid figures with hoods that obscured their faces. They were almost wearing like cloaks and stuff. They came out and were basically telling me that they were interested in me because I was doing something that was very rare, and they wanted to see the progress in it. So what I was doing is I was absorbing that energy from the crystal. I was attuning to it, and it was changing me. And me mastering my energy on this side allowed me to do this on the other side, on the etheric side. So then after that happened, I then found myself standing in a dry riverbed, and I saw a dam break, and this flow of money was coming at me. And right as the flow of money was about to hit me, I then was transported onto a train. And I felt it all. So like, I feel pressure right here where the third eye basically is, the pineal gland, where your third eye is supposedly resides. I felt pressure there for years. I felt the same pressure back between my shoulder blades. And what came to my mind when that happened was wings. I was gaining wings. And again, I don't know what all of this means necessarily in the time. I can only say in hindsight what I think it was, what I believe it was, and I can use context clues. So it was spiritual evolution. So I'm having these feelings like I'm sprouting wings. I'm having these feelings that, and these etheric visions of talking to these entities that are interested in me doing what I'm doing. I see this flow of money coming at me, and right before it hits me, I'm put on a train and I'm escalating up this mountain. And again, that was when I got the message that by December, you will be at the top of the mountain. Now, me on this side is frustrating, right? Money is something that we love. We hold too much in high regard. Something I've said for a long time is that money is not the root of all evil. It is mankind's love of money that is the root of all evil. When you do things that are detrimental to ourselves and our environment just to make profit, that is when money becomes evil. So again, It is not the love, it is not money itself that is the root of all evil. It is the love of money that is the root of all evil. If that resonates with you, like, subscribe, comment in there that the love of money is the root of all evil. So I'm having this vision, and this all ties into last week and what happens. So I have these messages from Spirit, from Source, and I have these visions, and I'm going up this mountain. I'm told by December I'll be at the top of the mountain. When I get to the top of the mountain, there is an entity there that is basically channeling, and what I gathered is that this was an ascended master. When I looked across the landscape, there was multiple different mountaintops dotting this entire landscape, and each one had their kundalinis lit up, and they were sending a beam of light upward. Sorry for that. Boom. That's what that was, if you could hear it. In my car, kind of a new concept. Again, this is a test. So the beam of light is going upwards and reaching a different realm. And finally, one night, I sit with myself and I channel, and what happens is I actually shoot up to where this beam of energy is going, and what I discover is that I am with the one infinite creator in this moment, and it is manifesting to me in a way that is surprising, that is also comforting, and we talk, and everything that I imagine, it tells me, comes from my own mind, and it is not just a figment of my imagination, but I am creating just as much as I am experiencing. And when I understand this, other things that had happened to me throughout my life that I will touch upon later, but for the sake of brevity, I don't want to do that here, but other things were indeed made up, but also they did play a little bit of a role, and there was a little bit of truth in them. And ultimately, what it told me to do is to not overcomplicate everything in my belief and how everything works, and that just keep it simple. That's what works for me. That's what always has worked for me. That's what makes me happy. I like it when things are simple, and I like it when things are effective. So that was back in December. How does this relate to last week? So last week, up until then, I had been working on a novel off and on for about, since 2019, 15 years. It's been on and off for 15 years. It has morphed considerably since then. And what initially happened, it's completely different. It was inspired by anime and all this stuff, dealt with angels, demons, all that stuff. And since then, it's completely changed to where it basically is mankind with superhuman abilities trying to beat the god of fear. That is essentially what it is. The message is simply the message that I am trying to speak with you all right now, is that the key to thriving is to overcome fear. Once you get rid of fear, you can live very authentically and just be yourself and thrive. You can become who you're meant to be once you get rid of fear. So, because I take very seriously the channelings that I get, sometimes it's wrong, sometimes it's right. The times that are wrong, it's me projecting it out. It is my ego projecting it out. Because there is balance, and that is key. Anyways, touching on a lot of stuff here. What I have done is I had created a way that my ego could try to trick me into believing that what I wanted was Source telling me what was going to happen. And in this instance, what happened is I was told to simply write, and what I would write would become what I needed it to be for my next progression. Now, since the carjacking incident, I have been journaling very regularly. And in these journalings, I think it was a way to process everything, and it was very much a form of therapy. Now, what does it mean that right and everything will turn out the way it needed to be? Well, my ego was telling me, write your book, monetize it, monetize it, monetize it, write your book. And so I literally thought that that's what it meant, and that is what I was focusing on so much. Instead of spreading my message, which is simple, which brings me joy, I was trying to complete this massive project that has, at the very best, been spotty for years and has brought me nothing really but stress. And when you sit back and look at something, again, perception is king. When you sit back and you look at all of that and you see that this thing that you thought you loved was nothing but a giant stressor, it's not for you. Sometimes you just have to admit that you've wasted your time and stop doing something before you keep doing it. Like and subscribe. Write that in the comments down if that resonates with you. So, we get to last week, and I am still planning out my novel, right? I'm still planning out these things, and I'm really gearing up for it, and I just feel super stressed about writing all this negative stuff on pages. And then you know what happens? I let go. I was completely depressed. I felt completely lost and sad, and I came across this channel, Our Everyday Lives, and it changed my life. He resonated with me so well that I decided to change tactics completely and to just be candid, be authentic, be myself. This is why I haven't produced content in forever, because I feel like I needed to take multiple takes, that I needed it to be so clean that I needed clicks, I needed views, I needed everyone possible to watch what I was putting out, because my motivation was money. It was monetization. It was not authenticity. It was not spreading the message to spread the message and help humanity. So, I come across Our Everyday Lives, and he says something to me that really just, it made me pause and just be in awe of how the universe works. He said, randomly in a video, 3 years to become king. And I'm like, okay, first of all, not a single person has said what I have said, has reiterated what I have reiterated. In 3 months' time, you will be king. In 3 years' time to become king. It really just was like, okay, sure, it wasn't exact. How much of a coincidence is that? I don't really believe in coincidences. Everything happens for a reason, and that was a big reminder. He also said something else. He said, trust your body. Trust the body is something that I saw in a dream. It was just me waking up to this old man. The final shot of the dream was this old man in a movie theater, really close to my face, just saying, trust the body, trust the body, trust the body, trust the body. And I woke up thinking, trust the body, and I wasn't sure what exactly that meant. And that was a few years ago. Now I know what that means, a few years on. It means to trust your body with what you put into it, with what you do, what it tells you is good for it. It will not lie to you. Trust your body. Your body is unique. It is your own. It is not, no two humans are built one-to-one, 100%. That is why allergies exist. That is why not all medications are for all people. Like and subscribe if that resonates with you. So here we are, 20 minutes in almost, and we've done this test, and it is pretty good. The GoPro has held up surprisingly well, and I am absolutely happy about that. And I'm sorry, I keep pausing because this security guard's just walking around, just kind of eyeing my car up and down. And it's been throwing me off a little bit, but hey, I've persevered. That is what you do. Control your focus, persevere, really batten down, continue forward. You will succeed in what you want to do, even if it is something as simple as creating this video. So yes, there are forces at play that I believe are trying to thwart me from doing what I am meant to do. But that is just the control of this world. And that is, to face that challenge is also what it means to being the light in the darkness. And that is ultimately what I aim to be. So I found Our Everyday Lives. Perception is king. It got me back on track. It rejuvenated me. And it was the kick in the pants that I needed to get back into doing what I'm doing. And you know what? My writing did turn out to be what it needed to be. I've written so much down in journals over the last year that I'm literally just echoing that sentiment. Every entry is a notch closer on my journey towards my end goal, towards my spiritual journey, my spiritual evolution, if you will. I contemplate what I've written, the messages that I've channeled, and I continue forward. And now I am simply being the light, and I am here to spread to all of you. Like and subscribe. Perception is king, and you are sovereign. Your sovereignty is important and is non-negotiable. My name is Ken. I am also known as the Phoenix. Like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.